Hey guys, it's Kyle, and I wanted to answer a couple questions that you guys had this week. I thought these questions were so big, and there were so many different answers that came up when I was looking at them that I thought I'd just do these two questions because there's so much to say about each question. So, someone awesome named Raina writes about Kylego. And if you don't know what that is, there's an exercise we do at our events called Kylego. And that's where you speak about an outcome that you want as if it already happened. So you might be like thinking that this video that we're watching was like a year ago and say, I remember a year ago after I watched your video, I started meditating every day. I let go of something that was heavy. I, asked that person out, and now I live in this house and I feel really good and I feel connected to my body. Blah, 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 blah. This exercise is really, really amazing at moving you into a new place in your body and seeing possibilities and training your mind to think on a deeper level of possibility versus problem. It also gets you out of your fear and into your creativity, and it's kind of crazy when you do it for a long time. Right now I'm working with a group of people for 6 months, and they're on their third week in a row of Kylegoing an hour a day. And if you really think about how much that's adding up in their cellular memory and in their possibility and how many different decisions that they're making from this place, it's kind of unbelievable. So it's changing their lives, and they're feeling so amazing, but they're also creating and doing different things. So that's Kylego. And Raina writes, about Kylego, I really want to see myself being prosperous, making money, but that doesn't come to mind during Kylego. All that comes up is about being. Any tips? Am I blocking me from abundance? Yes, I do. So you're saying that you want to see yourself being prosperous and making money, but that doesn't even come to mind. What's coming up is about being. Well, one belief I'm hearing in just this question, there's a belief here, and that's that being and making a bunch of money are opposing things. You're thinking, do I focus on my inner state of connecting and my soul, or do I focus on doing the flow-based abundance and prosperity externally? And what I really believe is that when you work on the internal, the external becomes a byproduct. But because you're not allowing what's just trying to come up, and you're judging it and thinking it should be about something else, you're putting yourself in a position of feeling stuck because you think one way means not the other way. And what we don't understand is if you just allow yourself to Kylego what comes up, allow yourself what's wanting to come up and what feels the highest for you is talking about being. And maybe you should honor that and let that feel seen. You're sitting here doing the Kylegoing, that you're just feeling good, you're feeling connected. And the more you allow that and allow that to be seen and felt, the more that you create a space for abundance to happen in certain ways. But a lot of times we do things from what we think we should be doing. And you might be going into your Kylego thinking, I should be focusing on my abundance. I should be focusing on how much money I'm making. But that might be something that was taught to you egoically. And what's beautiful about Kylego is it goes straight to the source. You're asking your body what it wants, and your body says, I want to talk about this right now. I want to talk about being. I want to talk about breathing. I want to talk about allowing. And by the way, it's possible something you might not be seeing is the more that you do that, the more value you might be worth. The more you might get insights, the more you might relax, the more you might have possibilities that can help other people raise true abundance. And abundance doesn't only come in the form of money. It can come in being, it can come in relaxing, it can come in you connecting to all that you are, raising your antenna and being worth more. So you're asking, you want to Kylego about money, you want to Kylego about prosperity, you want to Kylego from abundance, and that's really, really nice. But are you sure it's you? Or are you sure you think you should? And is something deeper trying to happen? And maybe after that deeper thing happens, it will naturally go to a way that you bring value to the world, a way that you, bring prosperity to the world and create abundance for yourself as a byproduct, but it's trying to go right to the source. And if it is, allow that. And maybe you could even Kylego, I remember when being and having money weren't opposing things. I remember when I realized all of it is one thing and it's all tied together, and I am raising my inner value and a byproduct is more external value. So that's a great question, and our job is to ask ourselves internally, what is trying to come up? What's trying to come up on the deepest level? What's trying to be seen by you on the deepest level? That's what we're here to focus on. And even if you're not Kylegoing, when you meditate, ask yourself what's trying to come up at the deepest level? What's trying to come up at the truest level? And when you do, you're going to feel even more connected and more powerful. So the next question is from Shannon Clarkson, and she said, when you think you're in flow and things are moving well, and then you feel comfortable to move forward, and then it all comes back. I've worked on myself for so long, went out, and old habits came back. And she also says she's talking about dating here. But let's just take the dating part out of it and talk about this on a level of, I'm working on me and old habits come back. The one thing that causes habits to come back is your resistance to that they're coming back. In other words, when you have a habit come up, if you think that habit shouldn't be there unconsciously, you're going to create more of it because it's coming up and it's trying to be seen so that you can transcend it. If you accept and love that a habit is coming up, you can transcend it. But your belief that and judgment, oh, here it comes again, this old habit, you're even calling it a habit. What if you don't call it a habit? You just say, this thing's coming up in me. No matter how many times it came up before, this thing's coming up in me. And your job is to accept that. I have this thing going on in me right now. Habit implies a while ago, right? We understand that that's the case. But what's coming up in you right now? And does calling it a habit make you feel a little more judgmental, a little more stuck, a little more that it owns you? And instead of calling it a habit, just say, right now, this is coming up in me. And then accept it. I accept that this is coming up in me. Right now, I feel stuck, and I accept that. Right now, I feel like a people pleaser, and I accept that. I feel like a control freak, and I accept it. I accept that I'm a people pleaser. I accept that I'm a control freak right now. I accept this, and your acceptance of it helps it to leave. Your acceptance of it helps it to transcend. So take any habit that you're feeling, or any feeling that you're feeling, or anything that feels like it's blocking you, and love it. I feel stuck and I love it. I have this thing where I'm, always doing this on a date, and I love that. Allow yourself to love it. It cannot work in a space of love. It just wants to be seen. And you might go, but I don't love it. And that's when I go, that's why it's still there. You're here to learn a new level of love. That's why we're on this planet, is to learn love. And life will keep giving you the same problem over and over and over again until you learn how to love on a deeper level and transcend that problem. That's why we're on this planet, in my opinion. When I meditate, I realize I'm here to be a space of love for these perceived problems. I'm here to bring abundance to the world by being abundance. And how do I find abundance? By experiencing things that I'm judging about myself and replacing them with full acceptance, with full love. So that's something I just want to offer you guys to take in. Those were the two best questions that we had that I felt brought something even deeper. But I want you to just remember, if you're feeling stuck in something, if you're judging something, your job is to accept it. And you don't want to accept it so that it goes away, because that's not accepting it. That's trying to get rid of it. You want to accept it. And then if you fully accept it all the way, you let yourself walk around with that issue there. I accept that this is here. I accept that this habit exists. I accept that this thing is on me. If you accept it truly, walk around for the day with that thing that you were judging, accept it. If you accept it, it will leave when it wants to, but it's not your job to get rid of it. And if you think your ego is going to get rid of it, you will be more in your ego. But if you allow life to transcend everything that isn't true about you, which really isn't even the thing, it's your judgment of the thing. You thinking it shouldn't be there is what keeps it there. Really take that in. Then it can go away. And remember, when you're Kylegoing, when you're doing something creative, sometimes something wants to come up that's not what you think you should be Kylegoing about. Sometimes something's trying to come up that you think you shouldn't be creating. But our job is to follow what's coming up and get really good and really in tune with what's coming up because it's relevant. So you might think, for instance, that you're here to change a circumstance. How do I get this person to like me? How do I, whatever, make more money? But your heart is going, I got a bunch of stuff in the attic that I need to get rid of because these things in the attic are keeping my old story alive. If you allow yourself to listen to this thing might take care of this issue. So ask yourself, because you only have right now, what is trying to come up right now, good or bad? I like these two questions because they both bring up the same answer. One is in the positive and one's in the negative. But that's a judgment too. They're just bringing up the same point. Are you allowing what's coming up? Are you allowing what's coming up? Are you accepting what's coming up? Let yourself feel whatever you're feeling right now and accept that. Be in the practice of accepting what's coming, accepting your judgment, accepting your fear, accepting I'm scared, accepting I'm excited, accepting that I should be focusing on being right now. Truly accept, and allow yourself to be a space of actual transcending, not judgment of, allowing. Allow yourself to be the space in which everything moves through. And then your ego will be able to move through it too. And you'll just be here. And you'll be co-creating with the universe. And that's what we're here to do. So I'll talk to you next week.